Greetings. Welcome to Mary University of Science and Technology. Today, we are having a session on women empowerment. Joining us today is a special guest. Stay tuned.
Leadership position really came not as a result of an inspiration per se. It came because somebody somewhere thought that they had some confidence in me and decided to make me that leader. As for STEM, basically I am in the arts, so not much of STEM, but with communication, being in Meru University as the University of Science and Technology, then we've ended up infusing a lot of STEM into the communication class. And because I have that background in linguistics, that is how I ended up in STEM. So I can say much of it is actually about things that happened around me that I really had no control over. Yes. It is important for women to be in STEM programs because STEM is life, and unfortunately worldwide there have been really few women joining STEM, so it is important to have some form of affirmative action to try and bring more women into the STEM world. And as I was just saying, that there's an African saying about educating a woman being equivalent to educating the whole nation. So it is important to have at least more women, so that these careers whose building blocks are STEM would then attract more females in it. So it is important to have more women in STEM. Interestingly, I'm inspired by more of political world leaders. I'm inspired by the Obama story particularly. Maybe so because his roots are Kenyan and I'm Kenyan. So Obama's story inspired me. But more to that is the bit of the underdog. People who are considered really lowly in the society, being able to rise up from that position that nobody ever thought possible. So I'm inspired by stories of people who were really lowly, who are able to beat all odds, come from that lowly status and come up. And that is a thing I find in President Obama Barack. There's always the need to prove yourself. There's always that the idea that women are not good enough. So many times I meet people and they're still waiting for the leader. They are still waiting to meet that person who is the leader. That's a challenge I think most women meet. And how do you overcome it? By being good, by being able to do what you are supposed to do and do it to the best of your ability, so that nobody is left in doubt, and that you create an impact, so that the next time when somebody mentions your name in a room full of opportunities, everybody is agreeing with it and saying, right, that is the right person for that. I'm passionate about learning new languages. So passionate am I about learning new languages that I've been able to learn an African language online by myself. So that's a passion I have, and that's Lingala. So you can't talk about me in Lingala, you can't backbite me, I'll understand. And that is self-taught through the online. So that's something I'm passionate about. Yes and no.
Okay.
Yes, because a woman is a human being, and a human being exists in a family unit. So it is easy for you to mold your family, work together with the family, and be that successful woman in the family. But there's a certain ceiling. There's a certain ceiling that when you reach, then it's not like 100% you can have this and that and that. There's always give and take here, a bit here, a bit there. I don't want to elaborate a lot, but there's a lot of give and take. So like we all know, you can't be like 100% everywhere in everything. So you will give and take. But my advice would be that you don't give too much and take too much from one bit. That you try to ensure that you balance. Yes. So there's a balance that sometimes you're called to do, and that you have to do quite effectively. Yes. My journey is an interesting journey, and if I was the giving up person, I wouldn't be where I am today, because I started this journey quite disadvantaged as a young girl in undergraduate with a baby. And so it was everybody didn't think it was possible. But I went through my undergraduate studies and finished and got married young. That's the interesting bit. Got married pretty young, barely 20, and had quick children in quick succession. So I have 3 children. But I managed to do my undergraduate degree, graduated with that, and was posted as a teacher in a high school where I taught for barely about 8 years. As a teacher in high school, I always thought I wanted to do something more. But then I was a teacher with a family, a young family of 3 children. That notwithstanding, I still was able to enroll for a master's degree as a young mother. So I went back to live in the hostel with young people. In fact, when I went to do my master's at Atherton University, I was in university with students that I had taught, and that was really interesting. And there was that, oh, this is our teacher, and then this is our classmate, and then this is, with us here. But that I managed to do and finished my master's degree. And after finishing my master's degree, and that is why I say it is important for women to hold on to the hands of fellow women, the professor who was my supervisor saw the potential and decided to take me and give me her classes at the university to teach. And that was the beginning of my journey as a lecturer at the university. So somebody had faith in me. Somebody had faith in what I was doing and sacrificed their classes so that I could be introduced into the world of teaching in university. After she did that for me, Atherton decided to take me, and I taught at Atherton for quite a bit. Then an opportunity arose at Kenya Methodist University, and that is where I went to continue my teaching at the university. There again, I want to tell you that do everything well and do it to your best, because that is the platform that gave me my scholarship for the PhD program. I was a person living in a province where it's not considered my home. That is the Eastern Province in Meru County. I wasn't the only person that was teaching linguistics at Kenya Methodist University, but I got the scholarship. You know the way Kenya is, people will start asking things like, do you belong here? But that when you are good at what you do you belong here is not a question people are going to ask. People are going to look at, are you competent? And that is how I got this scholarship and went for my PhD studies at the University of Huddersfield in the United Kingdom, where the University of Huddersfield paid for me 50% and Kenya Methodist University paid for me 50%. And that is how I got my PhD degree. Came back to Kenya, taught again at Kenya Methodist University for a while, and a chance came at Meru University. Here I am. So it is that long journey, but it is a journey of determination. It is a journey of hard work, and I can advise anybody, not just women, men, women, that be good at what you do, and the world will smile back at you. First of all, thankfully, the Kenyan government has realized the gap for the Kenyan girl child, And there has been a lot of affirmative action that has been done to ensure that girls have the opportunities that sometimes may pass them by just because they are female. So that affirmative action is good, and it has brought in, there's a very big difference between what was there in the 70s, for example, and what is there now. So the affirmative action should continue. But there has been a lot of talk about girls have been favored so much that boys have been neglected. I think a balance is what the government should strike, so that even in uplifting the women, we don't forget about the men. But as it is now, a lot should still be done to encourage people to stay in school, finish their courses, and finish with really good skills. I don't want to emphasize on grades. I want to emphasize on good skills that are marketable, that are useful for the industry. That's what should happen. And then maybe that's why I personally think that the CBC is a good thing. Because in the fields, it is not the education, it's not your certificates that eventually matter. You will realize that there are many people who got their first class, there are many people who got their A's, but when they go to the field, and if they don't attain the right skill, then they are useless to the industry. So maybe, again, our emphasis should be more on, are we producing the right skills for the job market? Are we producing the right skills for the industry? And that is what the Ministry of Education should work towards, ensuring that we produce graduates who have the right skills for the kind of jobs that they are going to be doing. Success is happiness. That's my one-line definition of success. Because for me, if you're successful and you hate what you are doing, if you are successful and going to your job is a drab, if you are successful and you wish you were in a different place, then that's not success. For me, success is you have achieved what you set out to do, and it makes you happy. And if you find happiness, for me, that's success. Success is about consistency. Success is about hard work. And success is about hanging on. So nothing happens quickly. The Swahili people say, ukiviona vyaelea vimeundwa. So that is what a young girl can do. Be very, very consistent in what to do. Have focus. Make a decision of, this is where I want to be, and stick to it. Then everything around you that doesn't talk to that vision you have, you can treat it as noise. And in that way, you'll achieve what you've set out to achieve. Justice. Just justice. That people should be fair. That opportunities that are given to people should be on merit, should be just. And when we have justice, everything else follows. Because there'll be no people who are selfish, who want to cut corners, to do things that are not right. Just that, justice. Yeah, justice for all. The young girls, I'd advise them to, first of all, know their worth and know where they want to go. You see, when you don't have a direction of where you are going, then you can't get there. So first of all, the whole idea is, where do you want to be? What do you want to do with yourself? And how do you even determine that? A person can determine that by reading around what the career paths they want are about, and then working hard towards getting there, knowing what does it take. For example, you want to be a diplomat. Then you must find out who is a diplomat. What does a diplomat do? what are the qualifications I need to be a diplomat? Research, research, and research. And once you have your facts, work towards that goal. And working towards that goal will make you achieve it. And of course, forget about the noise. And what I mean by the noise is that all those things that can move you away from that path you have set for yourself, you could put them aside for the time being and work towards this goal and achieve this goal. But that doesn't mean that a person stops being a human being. Because anybody who knows me can tell you that I dance pretty well, and you can find me dancing. But that doesn't make me a poor scholar. I dance and I still make a good scholar. So you can be a holistic individual. It's not that when you become a professor, then you are just about walking about with books, reading, don't know. All work and no play makes Jack a dull boy. A mentor is a role model. A mentor is somebody you look up to be able to get inspired. So it is really extremely important to have such a person in your life, because let's take the example of a young child growing up with the mother and the father. If the mother and the father, and I'm not saying this because I want to mean anything bad, but if they are doing low-income jobs, that is what that child will see. And that is how that is the view of the world that child will develop. That is why it is important to remove this child from that world view that is very narrow and only looking at what they have seen at that particular point, and take this child away from this narrow view of the world and give them a different world view. A world view where it is possible to live without hunger. A world view where it is possible to have enough money to use in your house and to save. So mentorship does great things for people. And mainly it is because the situation that we are living in is not often the ideal situation. So a person needs to see a different worldview from the one they are used to in the local environment where they live. That is why it is important for people to have mentors. They open the worldview of a person. How do people get mentors? Sometimes, if a person is living in a place where they don't have many success stories to look up to, then this mentorship should be a concerted effort by the society to ensure that if it is a school, for example, the school should invite people that can give mentorship talks. And I'm saying people generally, and girls, boys, everybody needs to have a mentor. For the simple reason that a place where you live, the environment in which you grow up doesn't have everything that is there in the world. So it is important for you to meet other people who look at things differently, because there's an English saying that goes, he who is not widely traveled thinks his mother is the best cook. So let this person be exposed to more wild ideas so that they know, aha, this is not everything there is. There's more to life than what I see every day. So that's why it is important. And for how to get mentors, schools should actually provide mentors. Colleges like the universities should also arrange for people to be talked to so that they open up their view to be different from what they are used to. It's a tough job. It's a tough world. As I said previously, you are always called upon to prove yourself beyond the way the males are called upon to prove themselves. And you are always doubted. But the good news is that if you do good work, your good work speaks for you, and that doubt will just fly away. So, but what does that mean? It means that for a woman, a lot more is expected of you in terms of proving that I was given this job, I am up to the task. But then again, the good news is it's possible. Yeah, it's possible. So that's it. "16 years old at that time. That was a time when I didn't even know what I wanted to do in life. I hadn't even made up my mind of what sort of career path I needed to take. So if I could go back to my 16-year-old self, I would plan my life different. I would do what I've said a girl should do. Research about what exactly I want to do in life, determine exactly how to get there, and work hard towards that particular goal. But my 16-year-old self surely didn't know my right from my left. If I had an opportunity to change what had happened previously, one is that I would change the whole idea of having children early in life. I would think, first of all, because I've realized this is something that will happen anyway. If it's meant to happen, it will happen anyway. So, and I would plan my family better. I would plan so that I have children when I'm settled, when I'm ready to have them. I'd also probably have taken a very different career path. I can't say at a young age I sat down and decided I want to be a lecturer, I want to have my PhD. That's not something I planned. It just worked out by fate, by grace. But if I were given a chance, I would really sit down and carefully plan my life and carefully decide, I want to do this in my life, I don't want to do this in my life. And I think that would have been, there are people who are like that. I see a lot of people who have been able to sit down and plan things. I was not that sort of person. So maybe if I were given a second chance of going back, then I would be a better planner of what exactly I want to do with myself. But I've not turned out badly, which is a good thing. To the young girl watching me today and thinking, wow, what a successful woman, I'd like to tell you that you too can be there, and that it is not rocket science to be a successful woman. But something you need to do, which nobody can do for you, first of all, identify your self-worth. Identify what are your strengths and work on them. Work on them so well so that anybody looking at you will have no doubt as to where exactly you are going. And I want to encourage you and tell you it is possible. And to even those of you who maybe somewhere along the line you slipped and fell, I would like to tell you that that cannot be the end of the world. I'm here. I am a living testimony, and I can tell you everything is possible. The world is your footstone. You can get anywhere you want to get with determination and with focus. Be strong, be true, be deathless.
Thank you for watching today's episode. It has been a lovely session on women empowerment. Stay tuned on the next one.